The pilot's eyes suddenly turned red, and he collapsed in the cockpit. The plane began to shake violently. The passengers thought it was just turbulence. They had no idea the aircraft was on the verge of crashing. The co-pilot panicked and tried to wake the captain. At the same time, strange things were happening on a snowy mountain not far away. The ski cable car system suddenly stopped running. The people sitting in the gondolas didn't pay much attention to it. They thought it was just a minor glitch. What they didn't notice was that the operator's gaze had become completely vacant. Red veins filled his eyes, as if he were exhausted beyond his limit. Yet he remained strangely calm and calmly drank some water. Immediately after that, the cable car suddenly started reversing at high speed. Even more terrifying was the fact that there were no safety belts on the gondolas. The people inside began to panic. At the end of the line, many people had already fallen to the ground. The speed kept increasing, and the gondolas piled up together. With no other option, the passengers had to jump off to reduce the damage as much as possible. Medical staff rushed to the scene. Despite their best rescue efforts, some people were still injured in the accident. The police initially suspected that the operator was largely responsible. A nurse arrived to examine him, but the operator, Lucas, did not look like he acted intentionally. Instead, it was more like a complete mental breakdown. The next second, Lucas fell into hallucinations. He suddenly felt that his hands had become enormous. The nurse noticed that his eyes were severely bloodshot. These symptoms looked more like someone who had been deprived of sleep for several days. The police planned to take him back to the station for questioning. But unexpectedly, Lucas's condition kept getting worse on the way. Taking advantage of a brief stop, Lucas suddenly ran out of the car and nearly got hit by passing traffic. Later, while the nurse was on a date, she suddenly received a call from Lucas. After Lucas had been taken away, they had completely lost contact. He begged the nurse to come and help him. Out of kindness, the nurse rushed to Lucas's home. She discovered that the door was slightly open. Calling out Lucas's name, she walked inside, only to find that the kitchen faucet was still running. As soon as she turned off the water, she heard a strange noise coming from the refrigerator. Inside the fridge was actually a cat. The nurse was confused and curious. She then turned and saw the bathroom door with clothes hanging on it. She pushed the door open, only to find that Lucas's eyes had turned red, and he had already gone to meet God. At the same time, many strange people appeared in gyms. They worked out frantically until they completely ran out of strength and collapsed to the ground. One woman, her eyes also red, accused severe insomnia of ruining her life. Recently, a large number of people across the country had begun suffering from insomnia. In just a few days, many developed nervous system disorders. The core symptoms were the inability to sleep and bloodshot red eyes. This caused a lack of concentration, temporary memory loss, and slower reactions. After several nights without sleep, patients became irritable and aggressive. The condition was named VACA. The medical system tried treating patients with existing medications, but there was still no improvement. If this continued, their brains would eventually collapse, and they would completely lose control. The pilot had also suffered from this illness, which ultimately led to the plane crash. This insomnia epidemic